Today I'm going to talk about guinea worm. So guinea worm has the distinction of being the second human disease that is most likely to be eradicated. And by eradicated, I mean no human cases occurring the status we have with smallpox. But guinea worm is a little bit different. It's not a virus, it's caused by a worm. And this is a disease that was endemic in parts of Africa. And it is a very gruesome disease in the sense that the worm doesn't have a treatment. You have to slowly wind it out of a person's body when it erupts in their skin. And it can erupt in their leg, in their arm, even in people's breasts. And it can be very, very painful. So what's the life cycle of this? So basically, these guinea worm live in what are called copepods in water. And people ingest that water with the copepods in them that have the guinea worm larvae, which then hatch and migrate to the skin. And after about a year, they form a blister at the skin surface, which is very painful, which causes people to want to put their limb in water. And as soon as that limb goes into water, more of the larvae get released and get eaten by new copepods, and then the cycle continues. And there's no vaccine. I said there's no treatment. It's just this winding around a pencil of the worm, which could be maybe 3 feet in length. That's not an ideal situation. So people have tried to eradicate it. And I think the person that deserves a lot of credit for this is President Jimmy Carter. This was one of his specific projects that he worked on, and he famously quipped that he hoped to die after the last guinea worm died. Sadly, he didn't accomplish that. But so far, it looks like we're making good progress with just a handful of cases in several African countries. Only one case, I think, this year has been reported. But what's happened is there's been a setback that dogs are getting infected. And one of the things with eradication is you want it to be something that only infects human. But now that dogs are getting infected, that's going to be harder to break that cycle, because how do you keep a dog from sticking their leg with a worm in it in a puddle? So this is going to be very, very challenging. And it's also challenging that it's occurring in countries like South Sudan, places where there's civil unrest and public health efforts are hard to implement there. But this is likely eventually to be the second human disease eradicated from the planet.